Hey everyone! Today we're talking about sloths, those adorable, slow-moving bundles of fur that live in the rainforest and seem to have life figured out. Just hanging around, taking it easy, living the dream. Except here's the reality. Being a sloth is actually terrifying and deadly. Let me explain. Imagine being so slow that algae literally grows on your body. So slow that you can't regulate your own body temperature properly. So slow that eagles just pick you up. Oh, and here's the kicker. Around 50% of sloth deaths happen while they're pooping. Yeah, half of you die on the toilet. Well, not a toilet. You have to climb down from your tree once a week to poop on the ground. And that journey is so dangerous that there's a coin flip chance you'll die during it. Being slow isn't zen. It's a survival nightmare. Let's start with the obvious. You're slow. Like absurdly slow. You move at a maximum speed of about 0.17 miles per hour. That's roughly 13 feet per minute. A snail can move faster than you in some conditions. But it's not just that you move slowly. Everything you do is slow. Your metabolism is slow. Your digestion is slow. Your reactions are slow. Your heart rate is slow. Even your thinking is slow. You take about a minute to turn your head. It takes you 30 days to digest a single meal. You blink slowly. You breathe slowly, sometimes only 4-6 breaths per minute. And here's the problem. Being this slow makes you incredibly vulnerable. Predators can just walk up to you. Eagles fly down and pluck you off branches. Jaguars climb up and eat you. You can't run, you can't fight back effectively, and you often don't even realize you're being attacked until it's too late. Your survival strategy is basically be so slow that hopefully predators don't notice you're alive. And honestly, it barely works. Now let's talk about your fur. Because you're so slow and stationary, your fur becomes a habitat for other organisms. You're covered in algae. Green algae grows on your fur, making you look moldy and giving you a greenish tint. This actually helps with camouflage. You blend in with the trees, but you're literally so motionless that plants are growing on you. But it gets weirder. Your fur also hosts an entire ecosystem. Moths live in your fur, specifically sloth moths. They spend their entire lives living on you, eating the algae and laying eggs in your poop when you descend to defecate. Beetles crawl around in there, ticks, various fungi. You're not an animal, you're a mobile ecosystem, a walking terrarium. And because you move so slowly, you can't groom yourself effectively. You just have to accept that you're covered in living things and slowly rotting vegetation. Other animals would get parasites and infections from this. You've just evolved to tolerate being absolutely disgusting. Here's another huge problem. You can't regulate your body temperature properly. Most mammals can maintain their body temperature internally. You, not so much. You're practically cold-blooded. Your body temperature fluctuates with the environment. If it gets cold, you get cold. And when you get cold, you get even slower. And you digest food even more slowly. Here's the nightmare scenario. You eat leaves. Those leaves sit in your stomach. The temperature drops. Your body gets cold. Your digestion slows down or stops completely. Now you have a stomach full of food that you can't digest. But you also can't eat more food because you're full. So you just sit there, cold, hungry despite having a full stomach, slowly starving while food rots inside you. Some sloths have literally starved to death with full stomachs because they were too cold to digest their food. You can die from being slightly chilly. Your survival depends on the weather being consistently perfect. Okay. Now we need to talk about the most dangerous thing you do. Poop. You only poop once a week. When you do, you lose up to 30% of your body weight in one go. That's insane. Imagine losing a third of your body weight every time you use the bathroom. But here's the real problem. You have to climb down from your tree to do it. You spend 99% of your life safely in the trees where predators can't easily reach you. But once a week, you make this incredibly dangerous journey to the ground. Why? Nobody knows for sure. Scientists think it might be to fertilize the trees you live in, or to allow the sloth moths to lay eggs in your poop. Or maybe it's just instinct from when your ancestors lived on the ground. But whatever the reason, it's a death sentence for many sloths. The journey takes forever because you're so slow. You're completely exposed. You're vulnerable on the ground. You can barely move on flat surfaces. You're basically helpless, and predators know this. Jaguars, ocelots, and harpy eagles wait for sloths to descend. They know you're coming down, and they know you're defenseless. Researchers estimate that up to 50% of sloth deaths occur during these weekly bathroom trips. You're literally risking your life to poop. Half of you die on the toilet. Let's talk about your diet, because it's almost as bad as the koalas. You eat leaves. Just leaves. And not even nutritious leaves, mostly low-quality rainforest leaves that have almost no calories or nutrients. Your metabolism is so slow because your diet provides almost no energy. You're not slow by choice. You're slow because you don't have the fuel to move faster. And remember that digestion problem? It takes you about 30 days to fully digest a meal. 30 days! Most mammals digest food in 48 hours. You need an entire month. Your stomach is huge. About 30% of your body weight when full, because food just sits there, fermenting for weeks while bacteria slowly break it down. So you're constantly bloated, slow, and malnourished. You're basically running on empty all the time. And if it gets cold, that food just sits there rotting while you starve. You're one weather change away from death. Here's something weird. You're actually a decent swimmer. Like, genuinely. You can swim 3 times faster than you can move on land. You can hold your breath for up to 40 minutes by slowing your heart rate even further. So you have this one skill that's actually impressive, and you almost never need it. You live in trees, in rainforest, where you rarely encounter deep water. Evolution gave you this random superpower that's completely useless for your lifestyle. It's like being an Olympic swimmer who lives in the desert. Technically impressive, but what's the point? On the rare occasions, you're on the ground, whether pooping or after falling from a tree, you're absolutely pathetic. You can't walk properly. You drag yourself forward using your claws, pulling your body along like you're doing the world's slowest army crawl. You can't run. You can't fight back effectively. Your claws are designed for hanging from branches, not combat. If a predator approaches, your only defense is to swipe slowly with your claws and hope they get bored. That's it. That's your whole defensive strategy. Predators can literally just walk up to you and eat you at their leisure. You're defenseless. Baby sloths that fall from trees, which happens more often than you'd think, because baby sloths are clumsy, often can't climb back up. They just sit on the forest floor crying for their mother until something eats them or they die of exposure. Speaking of falling, you fall out of trees a lot. You'd think an animal that spends its entire life in trees would be good at not falling. But no, you fall because you're slow and clumsy. You fall because you mistake your own arm for a branch and let go. Yes, that's real. Sloths sometimes grab their own limb thinking it's a tree branch. Release their grip on the actual branch and plummet to the ground. You're so slow and so stupid that you can't tell your own body apart from your environment. Most of the time, you survive the fall because you're relatively light and landing on soft forest floor, but you're now on the ground, which, as we've established, is basically a death sentence. And if you break a bone, you're done. You can't move well enough to survive with an injury. You just slowly die. And now, of course, there's climate change and deforestation. You live in rainforests. Specifically, you need continuous forest canopy because you can't travel on the ground safely. As forests get fragmented by logging and development, you're getting stranded. You can't move between forest patches because crossing open ground is suicide. Climate change is also causing more temperature fluctuations, which means more digestive problems and more starving with a full stomach situations. Habitat loss means less food, more dangerous ground crossings, and smaller populations that can't sustain genetic diversity. You're not endangered yet, but your survival depends entirely on intact rainforest, and that's disappearing fast. So let's recap what it's like being a sloth. You move so slowly that algae grows on your body. You're covered in moths, beetles, and fungi. You can't regulate your body temperature. You can starve to death with a full stomach if it gets cold. You only poop once a week and lose 30% of your body weight. That weekly poop trip kills 50% of sloths. You're completely defenseless on the ground. Your diet provides almost no energy. You sometimes fall from trees because you grab your own arm. You take 30 days to digest a single meal. You're helpless if you fall or get injured. Climate change and deforestation are destroying your habitat. Being slow isn't peaceful or zen. It's a constant struggle against starvation, predators, temperature, and your own incompetence. You've optimized for energy conservation so hard that you can barely survive. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning why being slow is actually terrible, hit that like button and subscribe for more Why It Sucks to Be Out videos. Next time, why it sucks to be a panda. Spoiler, you're a carnivore that exclusively eats bamboo. Females are only fertile 2-3 days per year, and you have no sex drive. Drop a comment. Would you rather die while pooping or starve with a full stomach? Both options are terrible. See you in the next one, and remember, taking it slow is not always the answer.